Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's excellent to have you here as always, and thank you for watching. Today's video was supposed to be an ad integration, thus the thing that you saw up here. But I've decided that there's enough going on with this device, or devices, excuse me, it deserves its own full video. Now, it'll be a relatively short video in comparison, but I'm a merit-based individual, and I think they've done a good enough job on this thing that they deserve a full expose. So what we're talking about today is the Teslong borescope. So if you're looking for something to either track the life of your barrel or just take some high-resolution photography for the Instagram and stuff like that, then this is something that you should at least know about. Now, actually, I have 3 of these things here today, which then leads us to a direct comparison video, of course. Like, why would we do that? What I'm going to do is start with the base unit, because in my opinion, all of these products are a derivation of the base unit, and it operates based off of a central control unit, which I'm going to affectionately refer to as the Game Boy. And the Game Boy has a variety of controls that allows to change various settings. It includes a light source on the back of it, should you need to illuminate what you're looking at, and an accessory strut to be able to attach a clip to. And I guarantee you that some boomer out there is going to put this in their belt clip for their phone, just because it's the right shape. Anyway, the device connects together with some data cables with a threaded lock. The scope itself is a rigid rod with an aluminum handle, and it has a rubber stop for a depth hold device. The camera is located at the distal end with integral lights and a threaded collar for adding different shaped mirrors. This one comes with 5 mirrors of various size. That's the general gist of the device, but the other 2 variants are mods for some of your other devices. The smartphone variant is a shorter rod that includes a wireless data pack to connect to your phone. There's an instruction card with QR codes that makes setup easy for under a minute's worth of time. The app itself has all the control mechanisms that you would expect out of operating with a normal smartphone, but the wireless control unit also has some fast access buttons if you're in the middle of using your screen for other things. We've all been there and done that, where we need to do something with the screen, but we're holding like a particular frame or something like that. If you need to take a picture, then you can just push the button on the side of the control unit and get that picture taken. Shifting gears again to the variant for your computer. Now, this is a flexible cable scope, so I'm sure that you reprobates out there can find all sorts of nefarious purposes for this thing. Dude, you're really weird. It plugs in via a USB cable and self-installs the drivers within a few seconds, as in so fast that I couldn't even get my camera up fast enough to capture it doing this. The cable has an integral rheostat for adjusting the lighting, but all the other controls are available on screen in all the places that you would expect to find them in a normal webcam usage. So the question is, which one is best out of the 3? So the only way I can think to do that is to look at some imagery. So of course, to do that, I pulled this thrashed up Visca left over from our 5,000 round test a few years ago, and I figured that we'd have at least something to look at inside this thing. To make that possible, we will be using the new Midwest Industries AK block. I did a full video on this thing in the AR version a few months ago, and I'll have that link down below if you so choose to watch and learn about that device. This is simply the AK variant for AK-47s and AK-74s. Here's a video shot with the base device using the Game Boy. The same shot on the smartphone variant. And here's one direct from the computer. Personally and professionally speaking, from the perspective of a videographer, I like the look of the imagery coming from the Game Boy variant because it's kind of darker and contrasty, but I could totally see where somebody would want the really bright version. As a side note, I used the same exact mirror, the 30 caliber mirror from the original device, to capture all the imagery so we could see what the different dynamic ranges look like between the devices. I do have one gripe, and that is as follows. It seems to me that the wireless version of the borescope is a bit laggy, and because of that, it's a little less user-friendly than the other 2 units. Now, that said, the reason I kind of point that out as a gripe is because the rest of the user experience with this device is really just simply easy, and it works. So that's kind of a black eye on the system, that it's just kind of laggy. And I would say that either go for the computer integrated version or the standalone unit, because between those two devices, you can get most of the things that I could conceive that you would want to get done with a borescope with those devices. I think the only exception to that would be if you didn't own a computer, because you wouldn't otherwise be able to pull the data off of the card from the standalone device. So if that's your situation, then you may have to be in that situation. We'll just put it that way. Now, other than that, I would say that I prefer the rigid version, because the rod just makes it really easy to guide it. Whereas if you've got a cable, the cable turns really easy. Now, it makes it more flexible. If you want to look inside of like an action or something like that, you've got a little bit more latitude with that. But I would say that for me, for the purposes of looking inside the bore of the gun, that the rigid variant, as in the rigid rod variants, are more applicable for my case. So that is the look at the Teslong borescope. So if you're looking for something to take some high quality imagery of the inside of your firearm, definitely something that should be on your radar. And I would say that Teslong, if you're watching, you're not getting back your standalone version. You might convince me to send back the mobile version and the computer version, but yeah, you're not getting that back. So sorry about you. Thank you guys for watching, and special thanks to our Patreon and subscribers, that make videos like this one possible. And you should see some of their names on screen right now.